What if the reason you crash on certain afternoons isn't about your workload? It's about where you are in your menstrual cycle? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to align your work schedule with your hormonal rhythm so you work with your body instead of against it. And the last method I'm going to share? Most productivity experts completely ignore it, but the women who use it swear by it. So grab a cup of coffee. This one might just change how you plan every single week. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Your cycle isn't just your period. It's a roughly 28-day hormonal orchestra, and each phase gives you different strengths. Most women have no idea this exists. We push through low energy days feeling broken, then wonder why we burn out by Friday. Dr. Sara Gottfried, a Harvard-trained physician and author of the book Women, Sex, and the Brain, calls your cycle your fourth vital sign. She says it tells you more about your health than your blood pressure. Yet we schedule our weeks like our hormones don't exist. Let me walk you through what actually happens, phase by phase. Day 1 is the first day of your period. Estrogen and progesterone both hit rock bottom. Your body is literally shedding the uterine lining, so energy naturally dips. This is the time for routine tasks. Newsletters, email triage, organizing your desk. That kind of work. A 2023 study published in the journal Brain and Cognition confirmed that cognitive flexibility peaks right after menstruation ends, so your brain is actually primed for reorganizing and planning, if you give it the right tasks. Now here's where it gets interesting. As you move into the follicular phase, roughly days 6 through 13, your estrogen starts climbing. And here's the part that changed everything for my friend Jennifer. She's a product designer in Austin. She told me she used to force herself to do all her creative work on Monday mornings because that's what productivity books recommend. She hated mornings. She felt like a failure when she couldn't focus. When she learned about cycle syncing, she started doing creative work on Tuesdays and Wednesdays instead, right when her estrogen was climbing and her dopamine receptors were firing more easily. Her output doubled in 3 months. She wasn't working harder. She was working with her biology. Then comes ovulation. Around day 14, your estrogen and testosterone both spike. This is your superpower window. Confidence peaks. Verbal skills peak. You're naturally more persuasive. Research from the University of Adelaide in Australia found that women during ovulation perform significantly better on tasks involving verbal articulation and social confidence. This is the week to do job interviews, present to your boss, negotiate a raise, or lead that team meeting you've been dreading. But wait, what happens during the luteal phase? Roughly days 15 through 28 is where most women struggle the most, and it's also where most productivity advice completely fails you. Progesterone rises during the luteal phase. It makes your brain want to slow down. It makes you crave stability and routine. If you're pushing through this phase the same way you push through the first 2 weeks, you're fighting a losing battle. That's not a character flaw. That's biology. So here's the system. This is what actually works. First, track your cycle. Use an app like Clue or Flow. It takes 30 seconds a day. After 3 months, you'll see the pattern. Once you know your pattern, start grouping your tasks by phase type. Low energy phases for execution and admin. Rising phases for learning and creative work. Peak phases for high stakes communication. Luteal phase for deep planning, review, and anything that requires detail orientation rather than brainstorm energy. Sound familiar? If you've ever wondered why you feel like a completely different person at work depending on the week, this is why. You're not inconsistent. You're cycling. If this is making sense, hit subscribe. I put out videos like this every week, and the next one is even more useful. All right, now here's the one I've been saving. Method number 3 is the one that actually changed the game for me personally. It's called strategic rest during the luteal phase. And I'm not talking about taking a day off. I'm talking about deliberately reducing your decision load during those last 2 weeks. Here's why this works. During the luteal phase, progesterone makes your brain more risk-averse. You're literally wired to want safety and predictability. A study in 2022 from the University of Barcelona found that during the luteal phase, Women show increased activity in brain regions associated with threat detection. You're not paranoid. Your brain is just doing its job. So here's what you do. In the 2 weeks before your period, batch your decisions. Eat the same breakfast. Follow a more rigid routine at work. Say no to new commitments more often. My client Maya, she's a marketing director in Chicago, started doing this. She told me she used to feel guilty about not wanting to network during those weeks. Once she understood it was her luteal phase, she stopped forcing it. She rescheduled coffee chats to the week after her period ended. Her network actually grew faster because the conversations were better when she was in her peak energy phase anyway. That one shift alone, protecting your luteal phase, could save you more than the first two methods combined. Once you see it this way, you can't unsee it. So here's what you take away from this. Your cycle isn't a problem to solve. It's a system to use. Track your phases, match your work to your biology, and protect that luteal window like it's sacred. Do that, and you'll stop fighting yourself every week. You'll start working with the natural current of your body instead of against it. If this helped you see things differently, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. And subscribe. I've got something even better coming next week. You'll want to see this one.